Okay, morning again everyone. Hope you didn't miss me too much yesterday. I've been having all sorts of technical issues in Casa Watson, but I am back and hoping to upload enough videos to get us onto tomorrow's learning already. So for those of you who are sticking with it day by day, you will be back up to date by the end of today, hopefully. Okay, so this is for the 27th of the 4th. This was yesterday's maths, Monday's maths home learning, week 2. I'm going to start with Fluent in 5. We're doing week 24, day 1. So question number 1 is 589 times 4. Really easy compared to some of the questions that we've been doing lately. So 9 times 4, 9, 18, 27, 36, 6 in the box, 3 on the doorstep. 8 times 4 is 32. Add the 3, 33, 34, 35. 5 in the box, 3 on the doorstep. Don't forget to cross them off if you feel like you should, because it keeps you up to the point that you need to be at. 5 times 4 is 20. Add the 3 is 23. I'm going to start a thousands column here because I've got no more maths to do. The answer is 2,356. Well done if you got that one right. Question number 2. 311 divided by 1,000. Right, I'm going to show you both ways today to do this, just in case you find the other way, the way that I don't find easy. You might find that the easiest way. So 311 divided by 1,000, straight away I've spotted that I'm dividing by the 10, 100 or 1,000 number. So it just means I'm moving the numbers or the decimal point, as I'm going to do, up and down the place value scale. So I'm going to show you my way, the illegal way. I do it first. You've got to find the decimal point in this number. If you can't see it, it's because it's hiding there at the end. So I could say it's 311.0 if I wanted to. That is still correct. Or it's just 311. I'm dividing, so I'm getting smaller. The number's going to get smaller. So I'm going to put the point that way. Or the numbers would go the opposite direction. The numbers would go down the place value scale towards the fraction end. How many zeros are there? There are 3 in the number 1,000. So I'm going to move 3 spaces. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So the decimal point is going to be here. Don't forget, the ones column's always right next door to the decimal point. And I'm going to put a 0 as a place value holder. So the answer is 0.311 or 311. Now, if you do it the other way, I'm going to show you how to move the numbers. So we've got ones or units. That's the column where you've just got single numbers in. The tens column and the hundreds column. So 2-digit numbers, 3-digit numbers. Now, after the ones column, we've got the decimal point. Okay, so it's always here. And then we start to go down into the smaller number columns. So the fractions, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So depending on which column I put the numbers in, that tells me how much the number is actually worth. So 311 is going to be 300, 110 and 1 unit or 1 1. Okay, 311. Now the decimal point's still here. I'm dividing by 1,000, so I'm going to move the numbers 3 spaces because there are 3 zeros in the number 1,000. So I'm going for it. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put that number there. So I'm going to put it down here so you can see. 1, 2, 3 spaces again. So you can see they're still in the same position next to each other. They haven't switched around or anything like that. The 3 is going to move 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to put it in that column. So it's like you've moved that number 3 spaces across, 3 spaces smaller. Don't forget to put the decimal point in. And I never leave this column blank. I always put something in the ones column. So the answer is still 0.311. I hope that makes sense to you. Which way do you find easiest to do it? Because it's really up to you. Which way your brain works and which way you find it easier. Okay, question number 3. 83,777. And we're doing a takeaway. Takeaway 81,498. Okay, my little rhyme that we use, more on the top. If there's more on this row here, you can just do the takeaway straight away. You can keep going. don't stop. More on the top, don't stop. If you've got more on this line here, more on this row, so there's more at the bottom than there is at the top, you've got to knock next door. You've got to give the next door neighbour at the top a little knock and take one away from them. Okay, so let's try it. 7 take away 8. 7 take away 8. There's more on the floor, so I'm going to have to knock next door. I haven't got enough to take away 8 from 7. So I'm going to cross out the 7, take 1 away, which leaves that column with 6, and give it to the neighbour. So I've made a new number, 17. 17 take away 8, I'm going to count the difference. So from the number after 8 up to 17, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. The difference is 9. 6 take away 9. There's more on the floor again there, so I'm going to have to knock next door. I haven't got enough. So take 1 from the 7, that leaves that column with 6, and give it to the neighbour. There's the new neighbour, remember, because we took 1 away last time round. 16 take away 9. I'm going to count the difference again. So counting from the number after 9 up to 16. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 7 in that row now, in that column. 6 take away 4. I can do that. There's more on the top. So if I take away 4, I've got 2 left. 3 take away 1. I can do that. So I'd have 2 left. And 8 take away 8 would leave me with 0. So I don't really need that 0 there to know that the number is 2,279. That's the answer to question number 3. 2,279. Okay, question number 4. We've got 1/6 of 120. Right, some people really don't like these, but I'm used to them by now. I know exactly what to do. I know this is the divide bar in a fraction, so I'm dividing by the number at the bottom, which is the denominator. In this case, 6. So I'm dividing by 6. I want to know what 120 divided by 6 is. So I pretty much can work that out straight away, apart from I can see an even easier way to work it out. I'm going to pretend that 0 is not there and then put it back on at the end, smile on my maths. How many 6s can I fit into 12? I can fit 2 in, and then I'm going to smile that 0 across. So 1/6 of 120 is 20. And the opposite, the inverse, would be 6 times 20 should give me 120. Which I know is true, actually. So can you see those patterns yourself? Right, last one. 7 times 8 times 4. Don't forget, you can do this multiplication in any order you want it. Any order you want to. I'm just going to do it as it is. 7 times 8 is 56. I'm going to do 56 times 4, pop it into a column. Really easy. 6 times 4 is 24. 4 in the box, 2 on the doorstep. 5 times 4 is 20. Add the 2 is 22. Start a new column. And the answer is 224. How did you do today? Okay. Feel free to drop me an email or a comment and let me know. Right, okay. Today's maths, Monday's home learning, 27th of April. Can't believe it's the 27th of April already. We're nearly into May. We are adding fractions. And these involve, because adding fractions is pretty easy now. We just know if we make the denominators the same, we can go for it and add them. Adding fractions involving mixed numbers. Have a little think. Do you know what a mixed number is? Involving mixed numbers. Well, I can tell you, just in case you don't know or you've forgotten, that mixed numbers is where you've got a whole number and you've got a fraction together. So you've got more than a whole. So you've had to have a mixture of whole numbers and fractions. All right, it's easier than what you think. So let's just go for, I'm not going to do the ones off the sheet. I'm going to let you go for it and then check your answers at the bottom. I'll do a couple of examples. So questions 1 to 8 on Monday's maths. I'll do 2/3 add 5/12. And I need to work out what that is. Why do I find that tricky right at the start? Well, I know that's because the denominators are different. I need to make them the same, and then I can go ahead and do the addition straight away. So how would I turn 3 into 12? What do I have to multiply by to turn 3 into 12? 3, 6, 9, 12. I need to multiply by 4. Whatever I do to the bottom, I must do to the top. So I've got to times that by 4 as well. Now I probably don't need to rub it off anymore and work it out because I know that's now 8/12, but I'm going to do it. Do you have to do it, or can you just see what the new calculation is, what you're adding? So it's 8/12, add 5/12. Now the bottoms are the same, I just need to add the 2 top numbers. 8 add 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I've got 13/12. Now, is that the answer, or can I do something else with it? I think I can, because this number on the top is bigger than the number on the bottom. So it's an improper fraction. So I can go ahead and do the little divide bit of the song. How many 12s can I fit into 13? I can fit in 1. And what's left over? There's 1/12 left over. Because I know if I've got 12 twelfths, see if I've got my chocolate bar, and it is chopped into 12, so I'm going for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I eat all 12 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'll have eaten the whole chocolate bar. So I've got 1 whole and 1/12. That's the first answer. Well, actually, that's not the answer from your sheet. That's just my question. So if you need to watch it back, have another little go at it. But I'm going to do another example. 4/5 add 4/10. So there's the next one. Exactly the same as the question before. Okay, so let's practice again. Why can't I do it? Because the denominators are different. So let's make them the same. If I times 5 by 2, I can turn it into 10. Whatever I've done to the bottom, I must do to the top. Don't forget that bit. The new fraction is going to be 4 times 2, which is 8. 5 times 2, which is 10, which is what I wanted to turn it into, tenths. Now I can go for it. 8 add 4 is 12. 12/10. Now, am I finished? No, because the number at the top is bigger than the number at the bottom, so it's improper. So I can work out, I can do a little divide. How many 10s can I fit into 12? I can fit 1. So I've got 1 whole and 2/10 left over. I hope that's made it a little bit easier for you, okay? Now, I'm going to go through the answers to question 9, 10, 11, 12. And then I'll do the mega challenge as well. So question number 9 on Monday's home learning. Let's hope the phone hasn't moved there. So I've got 1 and 3/10, and I need to add 1/2. Now I'm going to do the change first. I think I'm going to change that half into tenths. So how would I change 2 into 10? What would I have to multiply by? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 5. So times the bottom by 5. So times the top by 5. The new fraction is going to be 5/10, which we know is half because 5 is half of 10. Now, do I need to convert that back into an improper fraction? Let's see. Is this more than a whole? 3/10 add 5/10. No, it's only 8/10. So I would still at the end have 1 whole and 8/10. And that is your answer. 1 whole and 8/10. Now, you probably have spotted something. You might be able to simplify that. You'll get an extra bonus point if you can comment and let me know if you simplified that fraction into another one. But don't worry, you get the mark for 1 whole and 8/10. Question number 10. 1 1/4 add 7/8. Now I'm going to go for it first and change this into 8. So 4 times 2 would be 8. So times the top by 2. So the new fraction is going to be 2/8. 1 times 2 is 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Now, is this going to come to more than a whole? 7, 8, 9. It is. So I might change this just to show you for the purpose of the video how to do it. So 1 whole, I'm talking about 8s here. A whole would be 8/8, wouldn't it? So I know I've got 8/8 here. A nice little trick is to do a times at the bottom there. 1 times 8 would be 8. And then add on how many more you've got at the top. So I've got 8 because I've got a whole, 9, 10. I'm going to add that 2 on. So I could change that into 10 eighths if I wanted to. And then I'm going to add 7 eighths. So the answer is 17 eighths. Now, am I finished? No, because the number at the top is bigger than the number at the bottom. It's improper. So I can do the divide trick. How many eighths can I fit into 17? 8, 16, I can fit 2 in. So I've got 2 whole this time. And what's left over? I got a 16. There's 1 more to get to 17. So there's 1 8th left over. So that's the answer to question number 2. 2 whole, 1 8th. Sorry, question number 10. 2 whole and 1 8th. Question 11. So I've got this time 1 2/3. And I'm adding 1/6. Why can't I do it? Denominators are different. Let's make them the same. To turn 3 into 6, I need to times it by 2. Do the same to the top. What's the new fraction? It's going to be 4/6. So just let's write that down. 4/6. Now, is this bit going to come to more than a whole? 4 add 1 is 5. I'm not going to quite have a whole, so I'm just going to do it. 1 5/6 is the answer. 1 5/6. So that one was pretty simple. Question number 11. Question number 12. Flying through these. 1 1/2 add 1/6. So why can't I do it? First question, the denominators are different. Let's make them the same. 2, 4, 6. I'd have to times that by 3 to turn it into 6. What I do to the bottom, I'm going to do to the top. Let's do the little abracadabra. What's the new fraction? It's going to be 3/6. So let's write that down. 1 3/6. Add 1/6. Does this come to more than a whole? It doesn't. So I've just got 1 4/6 at the end. I'm sure I can simplify or convert that into another fraction as well. So there's an extra bonus point for all you people who love fractions, okay? But you'll still get the mark if you put 1 4/6. Right, the mega challenge. Let's work out what is the mega challenge today. A postman has delivered half of his letters. So I know he's delivered half. He delivers a further 2/5. So he's going to deliver another 2/5. What fraction of his letters has he delivered? So he's delivered those and those. I'm adding them together. Ooh, that looks really tricky. 1/2 add 2/5. Now, I can't turn 2 into 5 because 5 is not in the 2 times table. I can't turn 5 into 2 for the same reason. Okay, I can't divide it and turn it into 2 because it's not, this is not a factor of 5 and 5 is not a multiple of 2. So what could I do? I'm going to let you into a little secret here. It's called finding the lowest common multiple. I wonder how many people can remember doing this in maths. The lowest common multiple. I might shorten that and give it a little abbreviation, the LCM. Okay, so when I'm talking about the LCM, you know what I'm talking about. The lowest common multiple. But what does it mean? It means I've got to find a number that is in both of those times tables. Okay, so I've got to find a number that's in the 2 times table and the 5 times table. What's the first or the lowest number that's in the 2s and the 5s? Well, you could write out the 2 times table. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. I'm not going to go any further than that because I've already spotted what the LCM is, the lowest common multiple. Because if I write out the 5s as well, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, don't even need to go this far really because I've spotted 10 is in the 5s and 10 is in the 2s. That was the lowest number that is in both times tables. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn them both into tenths. So what would I times 2 by to turn it into 10? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 5. Whatever I do to the bottom, I must do to the top. What would I times 5 by to turn it into 10? 2. Do the same to the top. Now I can work out what the new fractions are. So 1 times 5 is 5. We're turning them into tenths. 2 times 5. 2 times 2 is 4. We're turning them into tenths again at the bottom. Now we can do the mega challenge. 5 tenths add 4 tenths is 9 tenths. And that is the answer. The postman has already delivered 9 tenths of his letters. And it sounds like he's just about to go home, because once he's delivered 10 tenths, he's delivered the whole thing. So he's delivered everything, hasn't he? Okay, I hope that made it a lot easier for you. And I will upload the videos straight away. And I'll speak to you soon.